6. All right. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this regular meeting of the Economic Development Commission in session. It's Tuesday, March 10th. It's approximately 6 p.m. And I will call this meeting to order. It's been given public notice in accordance to section 19.83 and 19.84 Wisconsin statutes in such form that will apprise the general public and news media of subject matter that is intended for consideration and action. Number 2 is roll call. All commissioners are present. Thank you very much. And we'll go to item 3 for announcements. Joletta, would you like to make an announcement? Mike?
Hello. Tomorrow is a candidate forum here at Village Hall, starting at 4:30. It starts with the county supervisors, then it goes to the circuit court branch 2, then it is school board members and village board. And we will hopefully be done at 8:30.
Great.
And the public is invited to attend. They can view it online or after the event online as well. And that will all be posted in the chamber website and social media.
Thank you. Did you hear her very well? Okay. All right. Any other announcements? I have, do you have one, Scott, for K9?
Yes, the K9 group is having a fundraiser at Hounds and Taps in Menominee Falls on Saturday from 1 till 5. There is rumors that a leprechaun will be there that you can get a picture with. And also you can bring your dog because it's a dog-friendly place and get pictures. And we're still trying to effort Archie. And if one of the canines is not on a deployment, they will be there as well. So bring your dogs and have fun. I don't have the address. It's on Silver Spring. It's right by the Coles. If you take Pilgrim down and go north, go west on Silver Spring, it's on the right there. It's right over there.
Now we have volume.
Oh, I should have the address, but.
Right. I'm going to ask you guys to repeat that because I don't think we had any sound. Go ahead, Scott.
K9 fundraiser, Saturday from 1 till 5 at Hounds and Taps in Menominee Falls. Archie is rumored to make an appearance, perhaps another K9. Bring your dogs. Hounds and Taps means you can bring your dog and drink, which is fun. We're going to have, not sure, you cannot bring your children unless they're over 16 because that's the rules that were set up. But it seems like a fun time. We have raffle baskets. We have 50-50 drawing.
Oh.
Lots of fun events. It all raises money for this year's K9 project, which is to take the old K9 car and transfer everything over to the new one. And it's a very expensive project, which is roughly $30,000 a cost to turn a K9 car, a regular car into a K9 car. So they have had a really good run of it, and there's a lot of sponsors, so it's going to be a nice event. So everyone's encouraged to come out from 1 to 5.
Thank you. Joletta, would you mind repeating the very important announcement?
So Scott's talking about Leadership Germantown. I'll put out a couple different leadership project shout outs. One of our project teams is looking to garner support, contacts for a school supplies drive. So they had a drive in February, still always accepting school supplies, but also looking for businesses in the community that would want to partner and have kind of long-standing relationships that the school can go to and just be able to get school supplies for the 200 kids in need. and rising every year. So that's one of the projects. The other project is with Big Brothers Big Sisters of Washington County. There will be a tailgate party April 11th at Fireman's Park. It's a great opportunity for the littles in Germantown who are not lined up with a big to have a fun event, and also to bring knowledge to Germantown about the need for bigs and the opportunities there. So those two, along with the K9 project, are the current projects Leadership Germantown is working on. And then tomorrow, the chamber is having the candidate forum, which we will be hearing from the candidates of court, county supervisor, village board, and school board starting at 4:30 here at the village. And the questions that are given to these candidates were produced by the community. So it's a great opportunity for them to talk about their stances on things for the community. And it's available live, Facebook Live, the cable channel, and then YouTube video afterwards.
Very good. That's an important event. If you have time, you can watch it online, or you can come and be here straight away and in person.
I just wanted to add on, I have an address for the event this weekend.
Oh, for the Hound thing?
I didn't know that I'd be making a presentation. So W175 N5645 Technology Drive, Menominee Falls. So right off Silver Spring there. The Lucky
Excellent.
Pup fundraiser. Leprechauns will be there. So St. Patty's Day, kick it off. Hounds and Taps. Bring your dog and have fun.
Sounds great. I do have an announcement. There is a special meeting that will be held here in the Village Hall on Thursday, the 12th at 6 p.m. And it is our attorney, Brian Sajdak, that will be presenting information on quorums and negative quorums. That meeting will be televised, or no, it will be taped. It will be recorded. So you'll be able to get it on YouTube if you're not able to be there. Again, 6 p.m. right here in the Village Hall, all about quorums. And I'm happy to announce that there is forming a 4th of July committee, and we are starting to make arrangements for the 250th 4th of July for this country, all here in Germantown. We do have fireworks, there will be games all day, plenty of food and fun. Parade at 11, and the fireworks will be at dusk, about 9 o'clock. So look around for details. We'll be posting them as they come in. All right. Any other announcements? That's pretty newsy. Thank you. Citizen input. I see we have none tonight. So we'll move on to number 5, our meeting minutes. I'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion to approve meeting minutes from February 10th, 2026.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion or corrections? There being none, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? Okay, one abstain. Thank you. That motion passes. Thanks very much. All right, let's go over to number 6, unfinished business, Operation Storefront, industrial and commercial real estate presentation. Unfortunately, I did not connect with the commercial real estate person in time to make this meeting. So I'd like a motion to postpone till next meeting.
I make a motion to postpone the industrial
Yes,
Um,
industrial.
real estate guest for the next meeting, to present at the next meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion passes. Thanks very much. Yes, you can ask. Um, Bill, from, what? No, I don't think so. Uh, uh, well, I can get back to you on that. I had two names, so I don't want to. Right. If you have a suggestion, just let me know. All right, let's move on to item 7, which is new business. And item A is the Germantown Business Development Loan Pool monthly report. And tonight we're going to be rewriting the application form. So this was in your packet. I hope you got a chance to review it. So the front end, just a update on the monthly report. We didn't have any applications that came through the clerk's office this month. So, and then we had one application go through this board last month. So let's talk about the review of the rewriting the application. The premise for this is some of the applicants were taken aback by giving financial information here to the village hall. So what we're going to be attempting tonight is putting this format into two parts. One for only the village, which is basically, do you live in the village? Give us your address, and then you have to go. You have to identify what your project is, but you don't have to do the financial part. The second part, part 2 of the application, will be for Bank 59, who is giving the loan. And that will contain, you don't have to turn that into the village, but that will contain all the financial information. Also, there's a change. This will no longer go through or be collected by the village administrator or the support service manager. It will be collected in the village clerk's office so that we have, it's all tied to this body, the EDC. So I think there'll be a real good flow for that. Sure.
So I have a question.
Yeah.
Are we actually going through this or are we just reviewing something that staff
this
has
has
put
been-
together?
This has been marked up. Corrections have been made by Bank 59.
Okay, I would suggest, can we just go to whatever has changed?
Sure,
Because we
We'll
have,
get to that page right now.
yeah, we have very important other things that all of us have been asking to get to.
Sure,
like
sure.
So I would
What I-
prefer to focus on just what's changed. Thank you.
Sure. All right, so you should be on page 12 of this item in your packet if you do it the way I look at it. And it's up on your screen. So the main thing here is the funding source is solely Bank 59, and we wanted to put another line item just said no public funds are used. All right, everybody good with that? Keep scrolling. All right, and then ineligible activities, they added working capital requests. That was Bank 59's recommendation. Any comments? Just jump in. Okay, applications. All right, and then on the top of the next page 13, you're good. It says the application by contacting Gosha or Steve Kreklow. Those will come off. And then on the last page, Can you quick scroll there for us? It's highlighted right here. It will go to Germantown Village Hall in care of the village clerk's office. Phone number, address, email. So they can email it or whatever. That will go on the top of that page, page 13, wasn't it? Yes. All right. And then the introduction, this is great news. Bank 59 will commit $250,000 to establish a loan pool to encourage business development. So that's an increase of $100,000 for the village of Germantown. I'm going quickly unless you have, and then eligible requirements, we put Roman numeral 3, and then on page 14, there is, you must be in the specified area in the attached map. I do not have a map, but we can insert a map of the village.
was gonna say,
Oh, yeah, we did. We did. It was,
it used to be the business corridor and now it's the whole village,
right.
which would have been
So-
Exhibit A.
Yeah, but we should throw in a map. We can do that.
Great.
Thank you. And then everything else was okay on that page. And then this was a duplicate of page 1. So we'll take that out, actually. Because it's not needed. And also this page is taken out. And then we get to the actual application where they put in, then start with 6, application process. And then that's all completed eligible applications will be reviewed and final action will be taken by the Village of Germantown Economic Development Commission following recommendations from Bank 59 and take out village staff and then just put Bank 59 has final approval authority. Make sense? Any questions?
I think
Okay.
Doesn't that say that the Bank 59 has a final approval authority and we are supposed to make the recommendations? Is that what the notice is trying to say?
It's a final action. It's reviewed and final action will be taken by the village following recommendation. Oh, actually, it's the other way around. Wait, we approve the loan application. But Bank 59
Finalizes it.
finalizes it. Yeah, they get the final approval because they go over the actual numbers.
They do the underwriting.
Pardon me?
They do the underwriting. Our only review is to determine if it's should go to underwriting or not. They handle everything from there.
Our approval process is to verify their address and viability. And then we move it forward.
Yeah, perhaps that sentence can be reworked to be a bit more clear.
Yeah. Should we have them do it or do you want to do it?
No, I think,
They should do it.
yeah. Doesn't
Oh,
make-
that's Sherry. Okay. And then the loan is handled by Bank 59. Yes, Joletta.
I just have one proofreading on letter D. It looks like they forgot to update it fully. Bank 59 Center. They just need to get rid of center because they were First Bank Financial Center.
Oh, and now they're not
I-
the
yeah,
center
so
anymore?
It's just proofreading.
So if they're not the center, that, I think it might appear a couple times. Can you check for that? Okay. They might have the actual, don't we have the actual PDF? Yeah, we do. All right. Great. And then my other, my only other suggestion to them was that on the front page, that it would probably make sense to have Bank 59 logo and the Village of Germantown logo, one in each corner. So they know who it is. I think we're going to ask them on that.
I think that makes sense. Okay. Are we taking any action on this or? We're going to send, we are going to send our recommendations back to them with those updates. So are we reword? Okay, so we need to vote on this. Are you okay with the corrections that we
Well, someone
discussed?
needs to make a motion, right? To say,
Yes.
send it back and we don't need to see it again as long as they take care of all the changes. And
Correct. All right, is that a motion? Yes. I need a second.
Second it.
Yep.
We have a motion on the floor. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. This moves forward to Bank 59. Thank you very much.
All right. The Economic Development Commission Municipal Code. I just wanted to bring this to your attention. The municipal code for the economic development was brought before the village board on, would have been the last week. And we're having this discussion about quorums. And one of the ways to get the walking quorum and the quorum to satisfy so that this board, this commission can talk to each other on a project. Like if I have to talk to Kristen on a project, then we can talk without any,
I think you've skipped ahead to a different agenda item. This one is the one, the next, where we talk about what it is that we're going to be working on. This is the Muni code, if I'm not mistaken.
B is the Muni code.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Um,
Thank you.
I'm sorry. Yep.
I got ahead of myself.
I-
Rarely happens.
The B and C are sort of together
Yes.
as agenda items. If you want to skip to the other one, we can.
No, that's to be. The, my apologies. Let's go to B, and it is reviewing the Economic Development Commission ordinance. It's 1.379. And talking about the points that are laid out in the actual Muni code and how you want to actually work this into our process and what we're working on. Was that clear? Probably not. So the creation and the purpose, I mean, everybody has this in front of them. There is hereby created the Economic Development Commission, and the purpose which shall be to stimulate and encourage economic development in the village. So the membership, this is going to be updated from 7 voting members to 9. They're adding 2. And who must be Germantown residents, business owners, community leaders appointed by the village president and confirmed by a majority vote of the village board. The village president shall appoint the chairperson. Term of office, 2 of the appointed commissioners shall be of the village board and shall serve their term of office as the village board members. And then 3B, first appointments of 5 non-board members shall be for 2 terms expiring. This goes back to the inception, April 30th, 2008, 2 for terms ending in 2009, and 1 in 2010. Thereafter, the appointments shall be made as of the annual organizational meeting, and the terms of the non-board members shall be 3 years until their successors are appointed and qualified. So the term of a trustee is 3 years, and the term of the commissioner is 3 years. So everybody has a 3-year term. Item D, members shall be reimbursed their actual and necessary expenses, including local travel expenses incurred in the discharge of their duties, but shall receive no other compensation. Any questions thus far? Comments, additions, subtractions? Okay. How about for the meetings? The commission shall conduct its meetings at scheduled times and places as shall be determined by the call of the chairman. Written notice of all meetings and agendas shall be delivered to each commission member at least 48 hours in advance of said meeting in such form as will reasonably appraise the commission members, the village board, the public, and the press of the date, time, and subject matter that is intended for consideration and action at the meeting. Minutes and recommendations of the commission shall be submitted to the village board. So this may be an opportunity to put a little report together. Now let's get to the powers and duties. The Economic Development Commission shall have the following powers and duties. Formulate, manage, and administer the village's economic development program, carrying out short-range and long-range elements of the program. Yeah. Make sure your mic's on. So there isn't one, meaning there isn't a program. Long-term or short-term, would you say, correct? Okay, and then we are to recommend an annual budget for its activities and programs. Right now, we have no budget. And C, as called upon, serve in an advisory role to the Planning Commission and Village Board on matters relevant to economic development in the village. Kind of waiting to be called upon. And then D, engage in policy deliberations relative to economic development activities such as business park development and marketing, and making policy recommendations to the village board. So, comments?
I would
What
just, that explains the structure,
Yes,
the general direction.
that's right.
And over the last few years, the previous iteration of the Economic Development Commission went through a process with the EDWC to formulate another foundational document, which they call the strategic platform.
Correct.
And the attempt was to bring together some ideas and thought processes about what the village didn't have, needed, and a direction in support of economic growth. So it got so far, some of the people who are on the commission at that time are still on the commission, which is great. But what I view this segment of time as is to really start to dig into the actual what.
Mhm.
What is it that we are going to be doing? And I have gone through various documents, other documents of the village, and I have some thoughts. And I would welcome listening to some of the commissioners who were on the previous commission, because they never actually got to express what they thought the direction should be. And I'm sure that many of you had those ideas, but it just
Mhm.
never quite got that far. So I'd
We
like
can
to hear
open-
from the people who were here before I got here.
So are we clear about, we just read the Economic Development Commission Municipal Code. So can we move on to C
Well, can we just have a discussion? I
about
mean,
this?
Yeah.
Sure.
About the direction. I mean, I think that from my observations of the group,
Mhm.
has been so tied to these processes of trying to come up with ideas, whatever ideas were come up that were brought up or were thought up were never actually discussed. And so I think we need, as a group, a better way of expressing what those things could be and actually putting some of them to action. And I welcome hearing that from the former commissioners.
Scott?
So Jim, I, and Gilletta, I believe, were on previous, when we went through the whole platform with EDWC that came in and facilitated, Sarah from EDWC. We had a lot of meetings. We kind of boiled it down to this, but we never got to, we got to the point of the pillars, but not to the point of the prioritization of the pillars, like what to work on. It did go to the village board for approval. The village board was behind the platform, but that's about where we ended it. So the whole thing is where do we go from here? We have gotten direction from staff about where they think we should go. You know, in the past 6 months or whatever here and there, but I think it's really up to the group, the 7 of us, 9 of us, whatever it's going to be, to where we want to go with it, because the direction should come from us if we're advisory, what we think, and what I would like to see a prioritization, like what should we work on first? What should we work on second? If we could get to that, then we're all going to be focused on a common goal of what to do, and it'll evolve naturally as we work through it. So that's the thing we didn't get done, my opinion, but I know Gilletta and Jim were here too, so I'm sure they have comments.
Gilletta, do you have a comment? No. Oh, Jim?
I think the problem with this commission is for a long time is it's been a rudderless ship that we just don't know what we're supposed to be doing. And I think that bringing in the EDWC was an attempt to have an exercise to try to help facilitate some direction. And I think, as Scott said, I think we had some good conversation, but it didn't really result in any sort of clear, concise direction. So maybe it's worth revisiting that to refine it and move parts of that forward. But I feel like there needs to be some direction and leadership from the village board involvement in this too. I don't think we dictate to the board what the program or the direction should be. The board is elected, so they're the ones that should be setting the policy, and I think we should be advising them on how to expedite and implement the policy, not setting the policy.
All right, I'll jump in. So I think it's two parts to it, just like Jim said, that there's, you know, work that we do as what I call kind of foundational economic development commission work.
Mhm.
And that might include, besides furthering the structure and the strategic direction, is the actual areas of work and information and things like that. And an example of that for me is in reviewing other communities within the county.
Mhm.
I went through and looked at all the different economic development commission or like type groups. And nobody's really doing anything. They're either tying to the small business loan organizations or the EDWC, or they're actually, maybe they have a loan program like we do, but with their own flavor to it. No one is actually going out and speaking to either realtors or developers and actively promoting the village, which is a direction that maybe we're not ready for yet, but could be something that we could do eventually if we get that far. So I think it's wide open, and we'll just have to forge ahead. So I don't think we have to worry about comparing ourselves, good or bad, to what's going on. But at some point, we may want to reach out and join forces with some of the municipalities, because if we can set something up and we can help each other, perhaps it will help all of us equally. The one thing I think that we don't have good background information on our website. On some of the websites, they had a business directory. We've talked about that as a possibility, and not to compete with the chamber, but we would have to discuss what that would be if we even want to do that. That was in Mequon.
What did they call it, Melanie?
Business directory.
Okay.
One of the things that came about from the Plan Commission last night is they were talking about the combination of home ownership or owner-occupied residence versus leased residence, and the breakdown of that and how that really is within the village. We could do more work towards understanding the database of who lives here, who works here, so the businesses, and perhaps the business directory is more informational in terms of not a listing for people to go and pick from, but more of information in support of what the Plan Commission is doing. In reviewing what I'm calling the foundational documents, which are the pillars, the Muni Code description, and the 2050 plan, there's actually a whole chapter 6 in the 2050 plan called economic development. And I think one of the things we can do is review this and see what's missing, what's changed, what needs to be updated, and eventually, as we work through a direction, supplement it with more information. So I think that's a clear objective that we could undertake. And to me, that is part of the foundational documents of this group. I also think that in looking at some other 2050 plans that from around the state, there are simpler ways to put together a 2050 plan. There's one from, I think it's Two Rivers, and it's about a fifth the size of what we have. And it's so clear and simple that you just get what it is that it's about. And, I'm going to call that something like the People's Plan, which is maybe an extraction and a distillation of the important information. There's a lot of what I call wah information in this. And there's contradictions because the statistics they don't match if you go from chapter to chapter. So it's clear that some bits were updated more recently than others. And, rather than go through and just try and edit the whole thing, perhaps we should extract what is current. It will make things simpler and a bit more directional, perhaps, as we identify gaps, things that are important. I mean, we have some events coming up now that are going to help with this direction. And that would be the Village Center District master planning, the Holy Hill efforts that are going on, and then whatever direction that the Plan Commission takes with coming up with design standards Those are all absolutely necessary things. The design standards very specifically has been missing for a long time. That's a category unto itself, in my view. And then another area that we can be looking at, and in fact, I believe that the director of planning has requested that we look into, and I don't have the list in front of me, but I think how the village will use TIDs, when to use TIDs, when not to use TIDs, what is TID math? I mean, there's no clarity into the way they really work from at a basic level, and there's certainly no clarity into how they end and what the benefits are. And so I think that there is work that we can do
to help ourselves understand that better, and also the rest of the community, because one of the things that I think is important, that this financial plan, or it's not a financial plan, but a financial report that's coming from Baird next week. Yep, at the GGF meeting. Essentially what they've done is they've taken all of the financial information, TIDs, whatever, about where we stand in relation to the debt, in relation to the 5-year infrastructure plan, and looked at our state of the village, and we'll be reporting on what areas of concern there may be, what taxation and projects are going to look like, how debt will work through over the next few years. And so I think we need to do, whatever we do, we need to have a good understanding of that as a basis for whatever we are supporting Plan Commission and the village board with our efforts, if that makes sense. So that's a lot, but I've been thinking about this. Good thoughts. Go ahead, Scott.
Oh, maybe to Melanie or even Jim, what Jim said, does that mean that we feel this should be an agenda item to the village board to review and provide direction to us in which direction initially that they want us to look at, since we're advisory to them, or the plan commission to provide direction? We make suggestions, but they tell what they'd like us to work on? Or am I not catching that correctly? Just asking the question.
Melanie?
Well, in my opinion, we haven't got far enough in any of this I mean, these are statements from one person, and we almost need to write, not a business plan or a business case, but an outline of what it is that we think is important. We haven't even had that discussion, nor how that might fit with the pillars. So I think that there's somewhat a continuation of what was not finished up or discussed through the work that you were doing with the strategic platform. In the meantime, there are some housekeeping things that could be done, like working on the information on the website that doesn't need to wait for,
Sure.
if we decide that for now, we're going to look at the website and see if we can adjust the information and perhaps put the loan on there. Perhaps there are other resources.
It's on there.
Is it? Okay. So
The loan is on the website under business development, but it's not easy to find. I don't think it's easy to find. It should be not only under it might be under Economic Development Commission, but I'm not sure, but it is under business development.
okay, so you've just basically made the case that we need to look at the website
Absolutely.
to see what information needs to be better sorted out, to be found. Also to just address whatever it is that this group decides to work upon. And is that an offshoot of what the Plan Commission is doing, or, you know, that's a discussion with them also? Because it ties to what they're doing. All the discussions will come to them, or all the inquiries will come to them as they are the director of economic development and planning. And that's their title as a department. So whatever we do is in support of them, but I think we need to come with a suggestion
Absolutely.
rather than just an idea. I mean,
Right.
it's not enough,
Right.
in my view.
So, I agree with you. We're updating the actual loan application and then the actual site of economic development on the website. I just had a website meeting today. And an easier way, and make sure that both spots are linked. In other words, if you go to Economic Development Commission, you can tap on something and get information about the loan. And then also, if you look under business development, it should be there as well. I'll have to verify that. I haven't, but yes. And having, do you think, Melanie, you mentioned review the 2050 economic plan under, economic development, the comprehensive plan. Do you think that's a good first step, or?
Well, I mean, I think this is a big
I
this
know,
is a big thing. So that's one of the things that needs to be done, yes, by everybody, as to understand what's in there.
right?
And if what the thoughts are. But so do we have a research period of time and we wait to see the financial and we wait to see the master planning? Or are there things that we can start now? You know, this is do we have, ask someone to, moderate the conversation so that we're not trying to do it on ourselves, which is always difficult? Does one of us step out and become the lead for having that discussion? I mean, there's many different ways of doing this, but we need to start sooner rather than later. I mean,
Right. Right.
The loan program is done as far as I'm concerned. We need to move on to bigger things.
Well, a strategic plan is a big thing, I think, and that's what, the pillars were supposed to, they're guidelines, right?
They are guidelines, but we also need to be doing things at the same time. We have to
That's
be
right.
wearing multiple hats. We can't just be
And
planning something for a long time.
our membership will increase. That will not happen until May. So, but we can do things in advance of that.
Well, I'm not suggesting that we go back to the EDWC. That is one idea, but there are other ways of getting to
Absolutely.
where we need to go. So I'm just putting it out there for people to
Right.
chime in.
Anyone else have a comment?
We'll have 3 new members as of April.
To microphone.
Well, Kristen is leaving.
No, your microphone, please. Sorry.
Sorry. Such a small group, you lose track of
Well,
the microphones.
it's recorded now.
So
But we'll have 3 new members because Kristen is not sticking around, right? You're not running again or whatever. So there'd be her position and then 2 new positions, right?
Correct.
So do we think there's any value in, I'm not saying stopping and waiting, but I think if you're gonna have 3 new members to a 7 member board, that's significant representation, that maybe they should be a part of these grander conversations of what Melanie's talking about.
Right. So I think, I think you're right about that. But perhaps we can continue your list or prioritize the list so that we can hit the ground running. Go ahead.
I mean,
Kristen.
how I read this for letter A, it's manage and administer the economic development program. So I think formulate is like where we are now. And I think that creating a list, starting out by creating a list, prioritizing it, getting some sort of draft, would be the way to at least start tackling 4 items listed here.
And so I think that, great. Anything else? I'm sorry.
No,
Did I
that's
miss-
it for now.
Okay. Formulate. So what you're, I think what you're suggesting, Melanie, is that we have a working session and actually have a scribe and start writing. Do you like that method? Or do we use Maddie? Taking notes.
Maddie's a scribe.
I know.
It's
Great at it.
Yeah. Well, I
You
mean,
have a nickname.
we could do a meeting like this with a whiteboard type of thing.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
that's what you're suggesting,
Yeah.
and Maddie can do what she does, because I mean, it will still be a meeting that would be.
Correct.
So a brainstorming session as to the
Right.
categories of things that might be associated with this, that would then help us say, oh, we're not ready for that one yet, push that
Right.
over there. Or yes, let's try these 3 things, or whatever it is. So we haven't even got that far. We've got ideas, thoughts,
Right,
scribbles.
right.
So,
Some drawings.
yeah.
Um, so, sorry.
She's losing her mind.
Okay. That's normal. So the big word that we're looking here is formulate. So how about the next meeting, start listing. And what I think 2 things that we can absolutely do, attend that meeting on Thursday night, or either watch the program on the quorum. I think that's that would be a good thing for all of us. We asked for it, and the attorney is going to be presenting it. It will be recorded. So we have that information. And then the financial advisory company, Baird, is coming in on the 16th, as you mentioned, to GGF, and that will be recorded as well. So if you can't make that meeting, then I would ask that you watch that. Having an idea about where we are financially, our financial stability is, I think, one of our foundations. You can argue the point.
Yeah, there's also the goal section of the 2050 plan.
Exactly, in the
which we
back.
looked at, and
Yeah.
that's more to do with plan commission, but the way the Muni Code is set up, we would participate in some of those things, assisting potentially.
Actually, I think I received an email to that point last summer, when we were just trying to get together and get enough people on this commission. So I'll bring that back up, and that came from Jeff Retzloff. So I'll take a look at that, bring it forward, and see what was listed. But I'm pretty sure it had, it was based on the back portion and the goals that were established during the initial writing of the 2050 comprehensive plan.
Yep. And then another thing would be the last item on the agenda tonight, which I'm not prepared to discuss at this point, because there's just simply too much information in there.
Right.
But to understand, then the reason for the request was to understand terms, the types of parts of agreements and things that were negotiated that both a developer and the village has captured in each of those agreements. And if there are things, if there's not a process, but a group of terms and agreement items that always should be asked. We know from some of the developments that some things might have got missed.
Right.
And so it would be, so my intent was to review those and come away understanding what appeared to be important for the village, what appeared to be important for the developer, see what's similar across all of them, see what's dissimilar, and see, just thinking about how people make agreements for these kinds of things and what kinds of agreement points should be important to the village going forward. Because we are getting new information with this Baird agreement, and we may want to do things differently. So that was the intent of why I requested that.
Right. I didn't expect you to memorize it tonight. Just kidding. Yes, so there are different types of agreements and what is included all the time you're seeing and what might be not included, but why would you not include it in an agreement? Right, right. So so we talked about B, the Muni code. Did you want to did anyone have any other aha moments about that? Or pull something from this Muni code that we should be focusing on at this moment in time? So I look at item D on this 5 powers and duties. We can make policy recommendations to the village board. They don't have to listen to it, but if we have, obviously, they don't, but if it keeps, just by reviewing these contracts, intergovernmental agreements or whatever they are, to purchase documents, if there are similarities or dissimilarities and it just doesn't feel right, then maybe it's a policy recommendation. Or if we see something that should always be included, that's a policy recommendation. Is it
think-
not?
I mean, I think you're not working in a vacuum. Part of this will be figuring out, since it doesn't seem like this group has ever really worked in the way in which it was intended originally. For whatever reason, I don't know. It just doesn't, I mean, in talking to people, there's never really been a strong economic development commission, right?
Right.
So we actually can create something that will be effective for, and it doesn't have to follow any anyone else because it's never been done. So, and there aren't good examples in the county of groups like this that we can see, or at least I found. And so I think we can take a narrow approach. We can take a simple approach.
Okay.
We need to start somewhere, but we also need to figure out how to work with other departments
Yeah.
and what that looks like. So it's not just us coming up with the policy and saying, here you go. It's working with them and whoever they are to come up with a policy. Like, I think this is great that we're bringing in guests, experts from the community or the broader community that can provide insight into the various markets. And we should continue to do that in different aspects. And perhaps we have a financer that comes in at some point. You know, different parts of who the people are within the system. Perhaps we have a negotiator who comes in and talks about their experience in what they find to be important if you're this kind of a person or if you're that sort of a municipality. I mean, there's lots of different ways in which we can. Part of this to me is also educating the village. And because having gone to a number of the plan commission meetings, there's a lot of people who don't really understand how development works. And those meetings can be confusing because it appears that there are retread meetings where the same thing is being discussed over and over again. Or it actually doesn't even get to the plan commission because it's happening in some other way. And so I think education and explanation, whether it's something that's on the website and it's static or it's more than that, I don't know. But I mean, that's far down the road. It's we haven't even figured out what we want to be when we grow up. So
I have a question. Do you think it would be helpful to hear from another municipality? They would not necessarily have this commission, but they might have a department and just understand how they work it, just to get a barometer of what their department looks like. It may not look like this committee.
well, I think you can over present, have too many
Okay.
presentations since we have only so much time. We still need to do some work to figure out what it is that we're doing. So
Okay.
the short answer is yes, but you know, let's not
Right,
have
right.
a visitor every meeting,
Right.
because we need to do some things ourselves
Right.
at some point soon.
So could we make the next meeting a working meeting with ideas? Come up with ideas.
What do you, I mean, say
Well,
more, be
we-
more specific.
More specifically, what order of importance are we going to keep on the list, the short list, reviewing the 2050 comprehensive plan just under economic development? Are we going to look at their goal section? Are we going to, you know, work out, find strategic ideas and areas that we want to focus on? Is it making the list, as you said, a business directory? So do we want to put everything out there, list it? No.
No, we don't know what everything is yet. I think, I mean, I think that if we figured out a workshop agenda for ourselves,
Okay.
and that would include the brainstorming part, who's going to lead the discussion, what kind of questions we make ourselves answer, um, those sorts of things. If you think back at workshop presentations that you have been at, it's guided and it's not, well, it's not, what do you think? It's in, in thinking about this area, or it's a structure, it's a
Right.
structured meeting. So, it need, a portion of that meeting, whatever that workshop meeting is, should be a structured meeting with roles and someone that's keeping us on track and saying, we're going to focus on only thinking about what is it that we think is important for the village to address. And those things just are plopped up there. We're not prioritizing, we're not doing anything.
Right.
We're just brainstorming them all. And then we come back and maybe at another time, we do the prioritization. Perhaps another one is focused on how do they slot in? Do they slot in? What is important about this, the pillar? Where does it fit in the process? I mean, so there's a whole structure to this group that hasn't been developed yet. There's some lofty ideas, but we don't know how to work together yet.
Right.
So it's a, and I don't think this format is going to get us there either.
No, I get it. I agree. What about, Joletta? Do you remember that guy's name, that put together the strategic plan? Paul somebody? Robach? Is he still doing this type of work? Joletta?
Yeah, he's with the extension, Ozaki County, I think maybe Fond du Lac County now.
Right.
Mhm.
And wasn't he, because he was an extension person, wasn't it, like very economical or?
Yeah, there's still a cost, but it's pretty economical.
Okay. Paul Robach also did a plan here at the village. I heard about it. It was just before my time in 2020 and 2021. I think it's still on the website. And it was about how to realign the DPW department. That was the focus. But they did like a half day or whatever, and they got together. He pulled in he had the whole village board do that. And then they focused on what was important. What do you hear from, what is your perception? What are you hearing from residents? There was a lot of discussion. And what should it look like? And then he came back and he said, he made recommendations of how he would put the DPW together. And it was in a transition period. I think that's when Larry was by himself. Yeah.
Well, something like that, that's not a protracted process over multiple meetings, but
It was,
like a one-time
yep,
thing, session that's maybe a little longer than the hour is much more productive and you get to something faster than.
right.
You
It
know,
was
one
like,
of the problems with the process the previous group went through is it just seemed like it was endless. So,
yeah, if you're only spending an hour. and then
yeah.
You
and-
just, and then when you come back, you have to remember everything that was kind of,
Well, and it just, you could see frustration on people's faces.
yeah,
It's like. ugh.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, the sessions are longer than an hour. That's how you gather the information, I believe. Is that right, Joletta? You've probably done it a million
Yeah,
times.
I mean, we did it with the chamber when we were bringing leadership on board. We we had him facilitate our strategic plan for the chamber.
Okay,
Oh, I mean, I could reach out to him if that's the direction we want to go.
that'd be a great idea.
Thank you.
Scott, did you want to add to that? No.
Okay.
Ellie, do you want to?
No, I just,
Do you have
I'm,
somebody else, something in, someone else? I mean, at least we could get a barometer of what,
no, I think that's great. And he's a known entity. Does good work. If he's available, if we can make it work, fantastic. I'm just gonna do a lot of reading between now and the next meeting, so.
yeah, great. So we've kind of gone back and forth and waited. But we did talk about the Muni code. Any other additions to that? And we talked a little bit about this. This is included in your packet, this strategic platform put together by the EDC, this board and the EDC. They were the ones that actually put it together. Any other comments on it? We heard a couple. I mean, it took a long time to get it to this point.
It was 3 or 4 meetings with the EDWC facilitator, that actual facilitator that came down. And then we discussed it for another, Jim, I'm not sure exactly, 2 to 3 meetings, maybe. It was about a 7-month thing, if I remember right. Lots of discussion. So it was just boiling down to get to this even point that we are. And now we're looking at 3 different things. So we've got to put the 3 together, the 2050 plan, this and the code, and make it all wrapped together. So maybe that's the need for the facilitation by
Yeah.
Paul to take the 3 pieces and put it in one, because without that, we're going to be fighting ourselves on what's more important, the chicken or the egg, or the other chicken. And I don't want to keep doing that, because we did that already. So we have a good base, and we need to push forward in a direction that gets us to what everyone's on here for, and that's to push some, forward things we're interested in to try to help us grow in the future. So that's my thoughts on it.
Okay, great. Any other thoughts? Okay. And then we'll move on just briefly to D. I just mentioned this. This is an excerpt. It's just taking out the line from section 1. It's about amending the ordinance for this commission, Economic Development Commission. And the impetus for adding 2 other people is so that we're not creating walking forums all the time. If I understood it correctly. Yeah. Any questions on that? This is still in process. It has to be, I mean, it's signed. This is what that's tomorrow. Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was approved by the village board. We posted it on the website as it is,
Okay.
but it also has to be published in the paper in order for it to take effect. So it will be published in the paper tomorrow.
I did not know. Okay. So that's going to go into effect. Now, any questions on that? And you can listen in to that special meeting on the 12th by the attorney. Item E, the Village of Germantown Developers Agreements and purchasing agreements. There's 100 pages of information on the IGA, new development, TID developer agreement, as well as purchasing land. Those are all the documents that the village signed and approved are all in this packet. So this is for discussion and this is for your information. And as Melanie aptly put, what are the likenesses? What are we missing in some of these things? I'm not the
Miller,
attorney. Yeah.
Can we move this to the next meeting?
Yeah, the only, I'm just going to mention it's there for you.
Okay.
If you want to discuss it further, I'll put it on the agenda.
Well, I think we didn't really get time to discuss it. There might be some questions people have, other commissioners. I have a few.
Sure.
So the next meeting would be great. to
Discuss
cover
it.
that. Yes.
Okay. You got it. And then sure. Did you say something? Oh. And then, would you like to, for April, would you like to put the review for the 2050 comprehensive plan? Just take a look at it and put it on the agenda? No. Would you like to, I don't know, would you like to talk about the advisory, the Baird report at all? No. And you will have read the new forum information? Do you want to discuss that?
No. I mean,
Okay.
no, we will be over.
Sorry, we will.
It's so much information.
Yes. No, I would think we should go back to how are we going to get to the point where we are working on stuff? We need to figure out what our structure is. So I mean, that's the conversation. If Giletta's had a chance to connect you and Paul and you've had a chance to discuss it, great. If not, we can perhaps
Send to you some examples of other types of meeting setups or people that might fulfill that role. So we could have Kristen come back and be our guest leader.
Maybe. And I'll put the, hopefully I'll get the industrial.
Real estate, are you still interested in getting information from industrial real estate?
I mean, we still need to do that, but
Right.
we will we have, Maggie, do you know if we will have 9 members by the next time we meet? Or
No, you won't.
it's, what was the, I
May.
missed, oh, May, sorry, okay, I missed that, sorry. Okay, that's fine. So we've got, basically between now and May, we've decided, I think, I heard
Say that we're prepping for the 9.
Prepping.
So we need to understand how we're going to work together by May.
Okay. Sounds like a plan
Or on May, yeah.
at the May meeting.
Mm.
Yeah. Any additional comments? Otherwise, I'm looking at the next meeting as April 14th. We'll hopefully get the consultant's name. And how's that work for everyone? It's Tuesday, second Tuesday. Okay. Okay, same time, same place. And we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.